Hallo und willkommen zu Lonestar. Wir spielen das Stanley Parable. Das soll ein sehr gutes Spiel sein und so ein bisschen, ja, eine seltsame Erzählung sein. Ich glaube, das muss man einfach selber erfahren, wie das so funktioniert, wenn wir hier sehen. Und dass das Spiel so ein bisschen auf einer anderen Ebene tickt, sieht man hier jetzt schon in dem Menü. Wir sehen also unseren Bildschirm mit dem Menü, haben dann nochmal einen Fernseher mit einem Monitor, da bewegt sich auch der Cursor genauso wie bei mir. Da steht es dann alles nochmal dran. Und man sieht hier wieder den Computer, nochmal den Computer und so weiter in die Unendlichkeit. Es fragt sich, ist hier eigentlich ein kleiner Unterschied zwischen dem und dem großen Bild? Ja, ich bin vorhin schon wohl zu weit rausgegangen. Mach mal ein Reset an der Stelle. Das kann man also irgendwie alles löschen.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winding, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Ja, und hier startet man wieder neu in seinem Büro. Jetzt hat man wieder eine Chance, was anderes zu tun. Also machen wir doch mal was. Hier ist 427, 428. Man kriegt die Türen nicht auf. So.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Schauen wir uns mal
No
um.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Man kann sich auch ducken.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Gehen wir mal ins nächste Büro. Ja, so, hier muss also irgendwo noch ein Zwischengang sein. Da kommt man gar nicht rein. Dass man hier durchs Fenster durchsieht. Kann man Computer ausschalten. Haben alle lustige Tassen. Wie in so einem Büro halt üblich. Ne? Einzigen Spaß, den man hat, ist eine lustige Tasse.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Jo, dann laufen wir mal weiter. I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Man kann sich jetzt hier entscheiden, was man macht. Der Sprecher hat gesagt, ich soll durch die linke Tür gehen. Man kann aber auch einfach das ignorieren und durch die rechte Tür gehen. Falls man hier im Hintergrund übrigens was hört, das sind meine Nachbarn. Vielen Dank. Wir gehen mal durch die rechte.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Na, wenigstens stimmen die Türen einigermaßen mit den Nummern.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Hier ist jetzt die Tür wieder links. Man kann aber auch einfach... Ich bin natürlich so drauf und will erstmal wissen, was ist denn, wenn man sich nicht dran hält, hm?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop. Nette Halle. Warning. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift $1,000. Penalty for jumping of the cargo lift $5,000. Und man stirbt noch zusätzlich. Also, Nehmen wir mal den Cargo.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Ja, jetzt fängt man wieder von vorne an. Und jetzt verfolgen wir das mal an die Stelle, wo wir gerade waren. Und gucken, ob alles gleich ist. Hier ist auf jeden Fall schon mal was anderes auf dem Monitor drauf.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nee.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Ja, ich glaube, er sagt auch ein bisschen was anderes.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein, wir haben ja da vorne noch nicht alles ausprobiert. Also runterspringen ist schon
Stanley
mal
was so
doof.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ja, wer wartet jetzt auf uns?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Was ist denn hier?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My bed is 4:30.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Excellent.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Ja, das Spiel hat jetzt Schaden genommen. Das ist schon irgendwie cool gemacht. Also. Oh, jetzt kann ich das Telefon nicht mehr aufnehmen. Dann müssen wir wieder auf den Aufzug. Diese
Now
Plattform.
that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
So, dann gehen wir wieder zurück, wo wir hergekommen sind.
almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Ja, also einfach wieder zurück zur Auswahl.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Naja, aber das wäre doch wirklich langweilig.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too
Jetzt ist noch
late.
mehr kaputt. Also, dann nehmen wir die andere Seite.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Ich hoffe, ihr habt euch die Zeit genommen und mal das Board durchgelesen. Waren nämlich coole Sachen dran gestanden, wie dieses Feld ist zu klein.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Yeah.
You just had to see?
Ja.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
Nein.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, jetzt wurden wir hier wieder zurückgesetzt. Fragt sich, muss man sich jetzt den Anfang wieder sparen? An welcher Stelle sind wir, wenn wir jetzt hier rechts gehen?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Das war wohl nichts.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Also, dann gehen wir jetzt auf die linke Seite.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ja, was haben wir denn hier alles? Das Box is too small, haben wir hier oben in der rechten Ecke. Dann haben wir hier Termination Tuesdays, we are broke Wednesday. Pranking Floors 5 Meeting, Financial Panic Meeting. What to do about 432? Couldn't tell. 432 about... Was steht da? Me meeting? Ach, don't tell 432 about the meeting. Okay. Ja. Was haben wir hier stehen? Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are to synergize. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper. Synergize guy who moved my desk. Ah ja, okay. Da haben die Employees unterschrieben. Haben alle eine Nummer, nur der Jim. Der heißt Jim. More water coolers. No water cooler heaters. Lot of peasants. Teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. Ne Mülleimer. Was haben wir hier noch? Number of slides on the slide. Also völlig nichtssagende Präsentation. Rate of increasing graphs per slide. Eieiei, was ist hier los? Ob das einem so ein bisschen verdeutlichen soll, dass viele dieser Meetings und Präsentationen vollkommen Blödsinn sind. Your dreams. Less air. Tips for not getting fired, talk less, don't get fired. Ah ja. Das sind doch alles schöne Tipps, muss ich mal zugeben. Solche mache ich auch immer. Room Closet. Da komme ich nicht rein, schade.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ja, mir bleibt doch gar nichts übrig. Wie man auch da runterkommen soll, ist mir ein Rätsel. Das sieht hier natürlich schon besser aus. Da sollte eigentlich die Sekretärin wohl sein. Oh, habe ich jetzt die Pflanze umgeschmissen? Da geht's nicht weiter.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Ja, aber nicht mehr heute. machen wir an dieser Stelle doch lieber ein kleines Päuschen und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.